Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Little Nightmares Secrets of the Mod DLC 100% walkthrough. And this is level 3 called The Residence. And at the end of the second level we stepped onto the roof of an elevator. And that is the same that elevator contained the lady. And since this expansion takes place at the same time as the main game, I'm guessing that's the same elevator that 6 rides up from the guest area up to the ladies' quarters. So that is actually where we are. We are in the ladies' quarters, just not at the same floor as 6 was. So she's probably working her way through this place just one level below us as this is happening. And up here on the bookshelf we have our first bottle. If you want to, you can throw this away, why not? I decided not to do so for some reason. And when we get back out here into the corridor, we're gonna head to the right. But before you go through the next door, right around here, make sure to start crouching and turn off your flashlight. Because as you can see, there is the lady combing her hair or whatever it is she does. So just like in the main game, you want to stay close to the screen and crouch. Stay far away from her so she doesn't hear you. If she hears you, she will turn around and that will be an instant fail state, just so you know. And in this level we are also gonna see some action. This level, unlike the first two, actually has fightable enemies. Not in the sense that you might think you will not start swinging or shooting at them. But we will use our flashlight to beat them. But before we get that far, we need to solve this puzzle. So first we go over here and pull this lever, and that will light the light in the middle. I don't know if this is supposed to be some kind of planetary thing, but first of all press the button on the left, then move the lever to the right, and we push the button once again. We need to align these lenses so that they will line up with the eyes. So after you push the lever to the right, push the button twice, move it back to the middle position, push the button once, pull the lever over to the left and push the button, what is it, 3 times? And that will make the lights shine into these eyes. And then we can use our flashlight to blind the 4th eye, like so. And that will open the path forward. And this place is super creepy. And in this room there are a bunch of portraits on the wall. What you want to do is check the portraits, because some of them are in this room as well. I know which ones they are, so make sure to press the same buttons as I'm pressing beneath the correct portraits, and we will open the door on the right after we push the final one, like so. So we can go in here. And we are gonna grab that little lady figurine on the middle table. But before we do so, we need to go in here and find our next bottle. There are 5 bottles in this level, just as in the 2 previous ones. And apparently I had reached a point where I decided not to throw these away anymore. And this can be a little bit tricky, because as soon as you grab this, a light will turn on. So make sure to be quick off the little table. Wait for it to swing over to the right. And this is tight, as you can see. You want to be ready to run just as soon as it swings over to the right side. Then hide behind this little statue. And don't fail like I did. If you miss, just move back behind the statue once again, throw it at the button, which will open up the door. And then we can just grab the statue and run out. And this is a problem that was in the main game and in this game as well. That sometimes the grip detection can be very arbitrary, like you saw right there. But if you get caught in the light, you do have a few seconds before it will kill you. So if you get caught, just move into a shadow as quickly as you possibly can. But now we need to find, I think it's a total of 4 figurines throughout this place to put down in a room on the right. And this is the first one, so we're just gonna run down into that room and place it. And one of the great things about this level is that there are no gnomes that you have to get help from. So we place down that figurine and we can go for the next one. So we head back up the stairs and over to the right. And in here we grab this ladder, we move it over to the left so we can head up on top of the bookshelves. Because now we have the bookshelf puzzle where we need to place in 3 books. So make sure to grab this one that is on the very edge and throw it down because we need this one. Like so. And then just fall off. For some reason the kid survives that fall. I don't think he should, but he has like steely legs. Or maybe the floor is very soft. But either way, find the 3 correct books and place them on the shelf. You can see the back of the books corresponding with the pattern on the different ones, and that opens this secret door so we can go into this room and grab our second figurine. This figurine, on the other hand, we will not place down in that room because this is not the correct one. We need to grab this one and head over to the left and switch it out for another one. So we grab this and take it with us. And that book lying on the floor to the left, we are gonna come back and grab that because we are gonna use that to grab a trophy called, I think it's called Ashes to Ashes. All these DLC levels have 3 trophies each. 1 for breaking all the bottles, 1 for beating the level, and 1 for completing a specific task or something inside the level. But either way, we use this figurine and now we do our Indiana Jones impression. So we pick up the white one that triggers this eye to open and we place the false one on it. And that will close the eye again. And don't worry, we will not be chased by giant rock balls throughout old Indian corridors, thankfully. And that is a great thing since I left my whip at home. But now that we have the correct figurine, we just go into this room and place it on the correct hole. This one is square, so you have to put it in the square groove, like so. Now all we need is the circular one. And down towards, you saw very close to the screen, you saw someone running to the left. That is an enemy type in this level. I don't know the official name for them. I just call them Shadow Children. And their weakness is being shined on with your flashlight. So that is how we're gonna fight them. But before we start fighting them, we run back into the library and grab this book. The one with the back looking like half a mask. And we're now going for the Ashes to Ashes trophy. So we run down the stairs, and this is one of those moments where I said in the first level that the stamina management rarely becomes a factor. Well, here it does. Or not so much a factor as an annoyance. When you get down these stairs, turn on your flashlight, because we are gonna fight some shadow children. As you can see, if you shine your flashlight at them for long enough, they kind of disintegrate and just fall down. And even though you're shining your light at them, make sure to keep your distance from them. Because if you get too close, even though they seem trapped in your flashlight, if you're too close to them, they will do like a suicide rush, trying to grab you. And you will see it later on. One of them barely misses me, I think. So be very careful. Keep your distance. And now we're back in the room where it started, after the elevator. So we put down the book. No. My bad. Didn't need to put down the book. And this is where we're gonna place it, next to the other mask book. This will open a secret door into this room with a very disturbing painting on the wall. And we're gonna push this pot off the table, like so. And that will unlock the trophy called, I think it's called Ashes to Ashes in English. As I've said, my PlayStation is set to Swedish, so all the trophy names are in Swedish as well. And Ashes to Ashes is not really a correct translation. It's how it's usually translated, but it's not a direct translation. A direct translation into Swedish would be out of dirt you've become, or something like that. Either way, now when we are back in the room where we first saw the lady, we grab this key from the table. She has gone off hiding somewhere throughout this area, waiting for Six or the kid to find her, probably. And there you see another one of those shadow children running over to the right. And we're gonna take this key and go up on the top level where there is a padlock door over to the left. And we open that up like so. And before we go into the room on the left, we're gonna walk down this corridor, because here is another bottle. So we pull out the flotsam from that one. And I can't really remember, was that the third or the fourth one? Either way, this one I actually broke. I think that's the fourth bottle. And be careful in this room, there are a few shadow children in here. I like to stay close down here, very close to the screen. You see them in the background. Let them come to you as soon as they are within the reach of your light. Just shine it at them. When you get over to this part, just more or less keep your back towards the wall, and none of them will be able to flank you. I was a bit slow on the uptake there, but I like this corner. And this is also, beating this level is a great practice for a level in the second game, if you plan on playing Little Nightmares 2, which I think you should. Also very fun game, but consider this level practice. Those of you out there who have played Little Nightmares 2 know exactly what I mean. I think. But don't rush this part. When you're quite sure that you have taken out all of them, you can continue pulling the chair towards the lever. But always remember, take this part slowly. There is another child over there. They are not at an infinite spawn. I don't think there is a set amount of them. I don't really know what triggers them, if it is time based, if it is action triggered, if you like pull the chair into different positions. But I want to make sure I take out all of them before I move into the next room, because you don't want children sneaking up on you from behind when you get in here. One of them will spawn over there to the right, one of them will come from the left. There is also me letting them get a little bit close. Be careful here, there is a hole in the floor, don't fall into it. Don't ask me how I know. So make sure you jump over it and get the drop on that child. Just stay here because he will return. He runs in behind the bookshelf and then he comes back. And then there are these two waiting over by the ladder. And when all those are taken out, we can head up. Like so. And then we just drop down here on the left side. And of course, be careful walking over this long plank. And a big jump over to the ladder. Make sure that you keep R2 held down or right trigger if you're playing this on Xbox. Remember, the grip detection isn't always great. And when you get in here, there are first 3 of these children. So there's one. There's the second one. Don't rush into this room, because you don't want to get surrounded by them. And that's free. So now we want to spin this thing, and that will lower that painting. After you have spun it a bit, 2 more will spawn in. So make sure to take them out. Don't rush this. Then grab it again, and we can spin it a little bit further. And after a while, 2 more will spawn in. There you saw the rush. That's the suicide rush. That's their only attack. And if they grab you, it's a fail state. And after you've taken out those 2, you should be able to lower it far enough for you to pass through. 2 more children will spawn in. I recommend just ignore them and run for the exit. Jump, grab, climb over, and you're safe. And since this is Little Nightmares, there is a piano, and if you run back and forth on the keys for a little while, we open up a secret compartment behind the painting. And there we find another bottle. So we just pop that one. This is the 4th one. Quite sure of it. And of course, staying true to tradition, we pick it up and we throw it away. And here is the round-based doll. And before we can continue, we need to grab onto this little lamp so we open up the path, of course. And throwing away those bottles, I think, is one of those little acts that feels rebellious or defiant. And I think it's quite satisfactory to do that, since these games are based a lot around you being quite helpless in the situation with these big monsters. You're just a little creature or a little child in a big nightmare world. So reclaim power whenever you can. It doesn't matter which side you put down the doll from. It was just me who missed the round groove first. And now there won't be any more shadow children. And in here, in the background, you will see the lady. And this is her true face. As you can see, she is not beautiful. becomes quite apparent why she uses the mask. And now we're gonna head over to the right. You will see the lady flashing by from time to time, like stalking you. She will not attack you. She is just there to stress you. So just ignore her and keep going to the right. And a great cue when you're done running to the right is when you hear a mannequin fall over. Which we'll do, I think it's in this room. Yes. That means you should go up close to the screen. And there you will find a final bottle. I think it's called I'm Losing You or something. And then we throw the bottle away, of course. And now we're gonna head back to the left. And into this corridor. Here I make a little mistake. Once again we see the lady flash by, just ignore her. Because over here you first have to go to the left. There's an open door to the left. Make sure to go into that room. It's just my memory being a little bit hazy. So I'm nothing if not persistent. But go in here to the left and you will hear the door opening behind you. And now is a straight shoot in there. Like so. And when we get into this room, we will be attacked by the lady. This attack is completely scripted. There is nothing you can do about it. And this is what the lady does to people who see her true face. She turns them into gnomes. So remember back in the second level where you had to get the help from the gnomes? The gnomes are other children that she has attacked. Quite dark. But at least we get a chance to play as one of these cute little buggers. And now we are down. This place will look familiar. Because we are now down in the guest area. Remember this part? And this is quite easy. None of the guests will bother you. They are just sitting there stuffing their faces. And here we will find out. I got caught on a bit of geography right there. But in here, we are now very close to the end. And in this room, we're just going to drop down. See a sausage on the floor. And I think you might be able to figure out what happens to the runaway kid. If you have played the main game, you will recognize this scene. But I'm gonna let I'm gonna let you see the end yourself, because this video is at its end, and also this project. But I hope you have found it helpful, and as always, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next project. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.